Now we're talking, boys.
Caitlin Clark. I didn't know a lot about her. Like, I knew who she was, obviously, but just this past year.
She is the only reason I watch basketball.
Oh, no.
No.
Women's basketball.
Truly.
Women's basketball.
No, basketball.
Truly.
I never watched the NBA before.
Really?
I swear.
I, actually tune into Caitlin Clark now. It's so dope. I mean, the Indiana Fever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I remember Iowa.
No one knew what the Indiana Fever was a year ago. No, and it doesn't matter. I understand there's some OGs out there that are upset.
WNBA star Caitlin Clark is making it clear that she won't be used for publicity. She's turned down the opportunity to compete in the NBA All-Star Weekend's three-point challenge. But why is she saying no? And how does she feel about the NBA possibly using her for the spotlight? Before we get into all the details, do me a quick favor. If you enjoy WNBA content, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
When we talk about Caitlin Clark, the first time the NCAA game was on ABC was last year. So in order to give something a chance to succeed, don't bury it in NFL Sundays. Give it a chance.
There's been a lot of talk about Caitlin Clark lately, with people debating her impact on the WNBA and whether she should be on the Team USA roster for the Paris Olympics. However, some commentators have used this as a chance to bring up bigger issues, like race, that don't really have anything to do with Clark herself.
Whenever you think of Angel Reese, people often mention Caitlin Clark. You've said in interviews, there's no beef, but the media keeps going on. So how do you feel about that situation?
Caitlin is an amazing player, and I've always thought she was an amazing player. We've been playing each other since high school. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very...
Caitlin Clark, star of the Indiana Fever, has made a big decision. She'll skip the NBA All-Star Weekend's three-point challenge next month. Instead, she plans to make her debut in the WNBA's three-point contest during the WNBA All-Star Game in July. Her representatives at EXL Sports Management confirmed that Clark is sticking with her choice to have her first three-point contest at the WNBA event rather than the NBA's. This decision adds an interesting twist to the conversation, especially considering the excitement around last year's three-point showdown between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. Curry narrowly beat Ionescu 29-26 in a single-round challenge, which even outshone the NBA's regular three-point contest. The event was held at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Ionescu, who plays for the New York Liberty, hasn't confirmed yet whether she'll be involved in the NBA All-Star festivities this year. She's currently playing in the new professional women's 3x3 league that launched last month. However, she did mention recently that she'll miss some games due to other commitments, including missing Phantom Games while in Paris for the NBA Paris Games. She also plans to attend NBA All-Star Weekend in the Bay Area. The WNBA's All-Star Weekend will take place in Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, home of the Fever and the Indiana Pacers, on July 18th and 19th.
Back up and shoot it from further back, too.
There you go. Okay, how far can you go? Steph Curry range is no problem for you.
Yeah, no problem.
That's it. You're the best.
With just a few months left until the big event, there's a lot of buzz around Caitlin Clark and her performance on the court. But the WNBA's #1 overall draft pick has also found herself in debates that have nothing to do with basketball, and it's frustrating for her. While Clark has significantly raised the profile of women's basketball, her name has been caught up in culture wars, especially on social media, because she's a white player. There have also been heated discussions about her game and why she didn't make the USA Basketball Olympic roster. Despite staying out of the social media drama, Clark has been dragged into these discussions, and now she's addressing the controversy directly. When asked about being involved in these debates, even though she keeps a low profile online, Clark made it clear that people should stop using her name to push harmful agendas. The Fever star pointed out that she can't control what others do, but she doesn't like how her name is being weaponized for arguments.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You go, girl.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle.
Oh.
She dictates. She and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. The economic impact, $36 million. She drove to Indianapolis just by showing up. She moves because she knows people follow her no matter where she goes, and she's very strategic about dictating where her value is.
I do agree with her.
Okay.
I am just disappointed in some of the points she negated to bring up. that three-point contest between Ionescu and Steph Curry, the event was the most watched NBA All-Star Saturday night in 4 years. In 4 years. She's putting the WNBA first.
Boy, it's a different tune. Stephen A was first on the scene with this one, though. I got to give him props for that. Of the acceptance of the Caitlin Clark effect. But boy, we got receipts, and boy, it's funny to see how many people were stubborn to this. And look, if you got another reason other than her color, give it to me. But how in the hell didn't people see this coming? People saw this not only coming, saw it happening, and still were like, nah. And now, since we have the power to look back retroactively, right? The 2020 hindsight, everyone could see the receipts of, whoa, Caitlin Clark was it. That was it. You got termed a sellout if you didn't say Angel Reese in the same name. I still hear people qualifying when they talk about the league. They'll throw Angel Reese in there. Ooh, that thing too loud. What's up, baby? What up? You all good? All right. She ain't worked out in how long? Let me stop. Oh, man. The fan.
When asked about the bigger issues behind the debate surrounding her, Caitlin Clark was clear about her stance on respect and fairness in the league. She emphasized that every player in the WNBA deserves the same respect, and she strongly rejected using her name for racist or misogynistic arguments. As she stays focused on her game, Clark is also making thoughtful decisions, including turning down a significant opportunity at the WNBA All-Star Weekend, a choice that sparked a lot of conversation. Clark, who has become the biggest star in women's basketball over the past year, was invited to participate in the WNBA All-Star three-point contest. However, she chose to decline the offer, which led to some criticism. ESPN analyst David Dennis Jr. was particularly vocal, saying Clark had no excuse for turning it down. But in a conversation with reporters ahead of the Skills Challenge, Clark explained her decision. She said she needed to prioritize her health and well-being after a hectic year in the sport. She acknowledged that the three-point contest wasn't an easy event to just show up and perform in, especially since it's something she hadn't had much time to practice for. Clark confidently stated that there would be plenty of other opportunities to compete in the future, and that right now, rest was more important. She's staying focused on what's best for her long-term success? Before we continue, quick favor, over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing but makes a huge difference for us. Did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you. Now, back to the video.
You mentioned that, you want to concentrate on basketball, and definitely respect that. But when, just ask you directly, when people use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever, what is your response to that?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women on our league deserve the same amount of respect. So, people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. But yeah, I mean, this league is the league I grew up admiring and wanting to be a part of. Like, some of the women in this league were my biggest idols and role models growing up and helped me want to achieve this moment right here that I get to play in every single night. So, just treating every single woman in this league with the same amount of respect, I think is just a basic human thing that everybody should do. Like, just be a kind person and treat them, how you would want to be treated. And, I think it's, very simple.
What was it like for that fundraiser? Like, what was it like to be helping out the community? Also, see you didn't go too easy on that kid with the block.
Couldn't go too easy. Come on. He wanted to play me one-on-one. He said he could beat me. So, I threw the ball pretty far away, but, it's fun when you get out in the community. I think it puts basketball into perspective. Like, those little kids had never been to a Fever game and they were just begging to come to a Fever game. Like, I think it just shows your impact that you have in this community, but also the amazing opportunities that I've been able to have because of basketball. And I don't think people always realize, like, those interactions.
Caitlin Clark has had an incredible year. After leading Iowa to the March Madness championship game, she was selected by the Indiana Fever as the first overall pick in the WNBA draft. At just 22 years old, Clark has made a strong impact in her rookie season, setting multiple records and leading the league with 8.2 assists per game. Clark isn't the only star turning down the three-point contest invitation. Sabrina Ionescu of the New York Liberty also decided not to participate, though she didn't give a reason. As a result, the competition will feature players like Jonquel Jones of New York, Alicia Gray of Atlanta, Marina May of Connecticut, Stephanie Dolson of Washington, and Kalea McBride of Minnesota. Clark expressed excitement about the high level of competition, noting that many of the participants are near 40% shooters, and she'll be there supporting them. Both Clark and Ionescu's absences are notable since they are among the league's top 3-point shooters. While Clark has a shooting accuracy of 32.7% from deep, she's hit 71 three-pointers this season, ranking 3rd in the league. Ionescu isn't far behind with 74 three-pointers and a shooting percentage of 35.6%. Even though Clark is still just a few months into her second season with the Fever, she's already become a target for hot takes, some of which aren't related to basketball at all. Despite all the outside noise, Clark is leading the Fever with averages of 16.3 points, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. She says the distractions haven't affected her bond with her team, and she's staying focused on what matters. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check out some of our other content currently on the screen.
So, here's Aaliyah Boston stealing the ball and finding Caitlin Clark on the break. But as soon as she's about to build up a head of steam, Diamond the Shields just bulldozed her out of nowhere, and even laughed it off afterward, as if she had done nothing. Meanwhile, Caitlin seems already used to this kind of treatment, as she just stands up and walks away. However, it didn't stop her from blurting out sweet nothings on the Shields. Cause you see, that was actually the 3rd time she fouled her hard in just 38 seconds, much to the approval and support of the biggest Caitlin Clark hater of all time. I mean, this was not just a random act of violence directed at CC, because based on this interesting stat right here, 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season have been committed against Caitlin, and weirdly enough, 80% of those came from Angel Reese and her Chi-Town crew. This was the last matchup between the Sky and the Fever this season, and it's pretty clear that the close pals of Angel Reese are trying their best to take out Caitlin so she would not have any chance to win the Rookie of the Year award. And see, not only players like the Shields are looking to put Caitlin out of the race, because recently ESPN released their latest rookie rankings, and in that article they put Angel Reese at the #1 spot over Caitlin, even though everybody knows that CC has better stats overall than Reese this season, and the Fever has a better win-loss record than the Sky. I mean, heading to this highly anticipated clash, the Rookie of the Year race was somehow considered to be pretty much a toss-up between Caitlin and Angel Reese, which is why there's no doubt in anyone's mind that whoever comes up on top in this particular game would surely take home the Rookie of the Year trophy. Anyway, with that being said, let's quickly jump right into the action. Caitlin starts things off by showcasing her vision as she locates Nalissa Smith for the uncontested bucket underneath.
On her shoulders to be more aggressive.
Then, she hops in for a 3, coming off a brush screen from AB.
Blocked for 3.
Before blowing by her defender here to finish all the way to the hole. CC was on the roll early, and moments later, she wowed the crowd with back-to-back mind-blowing dimes. First, she sets up Kelsey Mitchell for their patented backdoor play, and after stealing the ball from Angel Reese, CC threads the needle here with this bounce pass to Temi on the run, who then converted the and one.
It's a pass! Thread the needle, my goodness!
Caitlin played the entire first quarter and finished with 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Angel Reese, on the other hand, was hitting the side of the backboard to end up with 2 points. Anyway, in the second frame, Caitlin starts to heat up early as she hits back-to-back triples to put the Fever ahead.
First quarter, Clark again! Heating up!
Then, after that, she throws a touchdown pass to Erica Wheeler before feeding Damaris Dantas for the foul line